So in your case,
Yeah.
what did you want to be when growing up?
Ooh,
What was your dream
do you know,
job?
I've never told people this apart from like my family who obviously
So
know.
the podcast is here.
Ooh. Okay, no one's allowed to laugh at me.
Yeah.
Because it's funnily enough, it's not something like I dreamt about it when I was a child, and I always wanted to do this, but I still kind of like it's still there inside me. I wanted to be a builder, and not like an architect. Or when I told my grandma, she was like, "Oh, you want to be an architect?" I'm like, "No, I want to lay the bricks. I want to do the physical manual labor." Like and I still dream of building my own house. Now I don't want to just be a builder.
We have a lot of those in Kenya, and you know.
I know, but that's not people's dream, is it? It's not like
No. Here's the thing. You know, it's when. What was the craziest thing I think I wanted to be when I was growing up? I can't remember, but it must have been something that now it doesn't make sense to me. But then that's what would have made.
Still makes sense.
Really? Really?
Yeah, I think because I really love like being physically active.
Yeah.
And I that satisfaction of like building something and going, I did that with my hands and my sweat. You know what? Sweat and blood. You know what I mean, though.
Literally.
Yeah. No. But do you know what I mean? That like really hard work and then seeing the final result. But that was like, my dream was to be nothing to do with photography. It was I want to be a builder.
Most people do that like. It's like a day job. Why don't you do this? Why don't you pick one day?
I feel like I really don't have time for that.
No, pick one day. You don't dedicate because they're paid per day. Pick one day, and then no, and then we can document that into like a 5-minute funny kind of video.
I mean, I still want to do it, so I'm down for that. I want to,
but
I don't have the skill. I need to learn. I need to be taught.
Come on.
No,
they'll just tell you put this
simple.
here, and then there's somebody supervising or overlooking the work. And we'll see how long.
How long I last.
How
if
long
it's still a dream,
it will last you
after I do it.
To quit on that dream.
I don't think it will. Like I'm really like stubborn and very competitive. So I'm like
it's something that
I will not be satisfied until I've like completed what it is I've set out.
Well, take an attempt to it.
Yeah.
When you still can.
What do you mean when I still can?
Because once you get older and then, your body can't really handle pick one brick and your back is in pain and everything. But so what kind of transformation did you go through to just become like a photographer? Were you in school here or?
No, I was in school in England and I was living in England.
How was that?
I mean, it was my life. So I mean, I loved it. I had such a great childhood. I feel like,
What are the best memories you have from childhood?
From my childhood?
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time outdoors. I grew up in the countryside in England. So I love like space and being able to go for a walk for like 2 hours and not see a single person. And I used to go out and like walk in the fields and like just try and catch lambs, sheep, baby sheep. And do that for like hours. Like every day after school, I would go for a walk, and my mum would whistle for me like this. She'd whistle like this, and then I would know then that it's dinner time to come back home.
What?
Like, no.
How far? I mean, she must be really good at.
Yeah, she's got quite a loud whistle, but when you know your mum's call as well, right?
So somewhere in the field, she can just do that, and you can tell like, okay, she's calling you.
Yeah, so I had a really fun childhood. I just spent a lot of time outdoors and like with nature and like literally like singing to myself in the woods.
And I can tell that from like, I think that explains some of the Instagram pictures I used to see, not anymore.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like a lot of outdoor. I think you're still trying to connect to that,
stuff.
like, the outdoor.
Especially when I moved here. Like I was definitely clinging on to that because I've never been at this. When I moved here was the first time I lived in a city. So
what?
Yeah. So when I lived here when I was little, I lived out near the national park, so close to here, but like in the countryside.
It's still in the countryside,
There was no cars coming past our house and stuff like that. It was in the bush, and then moved to England and lived in the countryside there. So I'm like such a country bum. All my childhood is like outdoors.
So the city doesn't excite you that much.
I think having travelled to different cities, like this year I went to Lisbon and. Last year I went to Cape Town, and I love some cities. But I think actually those two cities, two of the main reasons I love them is because they're very like active cities. Like Cape Town, you've got the mountain and the beach and the sea and stuff. And Lisbon, you walk a lot. it's like hills up and down.
It's kind of something you enjoy doing.
Yeah. So Nairobi, I don't love as a city. I've got to be honest. I find it like I get very claustrophobic.
And that's Nairobi for you.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, it's just like a bunch of people.
Yeah, there's
all
people,
the
there's pollution, there's dust, there's noise.
True.
It's just like, oh.
What a nice way to describe Nairobi, Poppy.
No, Nairobi is great for other reasons.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of them right now, but I can't
like
think
what?
of any. The national park.
You took all of them away.
We've got a national park that's enclosed within the city, and food. I like food in Nairobi.
The food is nice, right?
I feel like there's actually some of the best sushi I've ever had in my life is in Nairobi.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Food, and I'd never had that, like living really close to your friends. You know, if I lived in the countryside, it's like a 40-minute walk to visit my best friend or whatever.
40?
Yeah, walking.
Or
like a 30-minute bike ride. Yeah, 20-minute bike ride.
There are no
but
bikes
still,
in the countryside?
Like here, I'll get on the back of a boarder and I'll be at my best friend's house in 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
So that I really enjoy, the closeness of like,
being able to just
or
go
just
in.
saying like, oh, I don't have any tomatoes in the house, I can literally just walk downstairs and buy tomatoes. Whereas in where I grew up, it's like you have to prepare in advance, and like if you haven't got tomatoes, you're not having that meal then.
How's that transformation from? Because when I met you, I think that's when you had just come into the country.
Yeah.
And what made you decide to just come stay in Kenya?
My work, photography, and I wanted to be in Kenya. And so I couldn't live in Kenya and live in the countryside because I needed to work. So I had to be in Nairobi if I wanted to be in Kenya. Yeah. So it wasn't Nairobi that drew me back to Kenya. It was Kenya that drew me back to Kenya, and my childhood memories. And like I always said I would live here.
You're always being brought here. Your mom is from Kenya?
No, she's English.
She's English, and your dad is from Kenya?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, that's where the connection is.
Yeah, exactly.
And you used to come here as a kid?
Yeah, so I lived here from 5 till 8, and then moved back to England, and then every few years we would come back for like 3 months, and I'd go back to my old school for 3 months, and then we'd go back to England. And then the last time I did that on my own, so no one else came with me, and I came here by myself. I was 14, and I stayed for 3 months. Yeah, I stayed with some family friends, but I went to my old school for 3 months, and then I went back to England, and I was so miserable, like so unhappy. And I told my mum, I was like, I just want to move back to Kenya, and I just want to be there. And she was like, you have to finish high school, you have to get your GCSEs.
At least get this done.
Exactly. And I was so miserable, I didn't want to do it. Like I was so unhappy.
Why were you miserable?
I don't know, I just felt like I wasn't at home.
Really?
Yeah, I felt really like I was like, people don't get who I am in England. Like I'm one person there, and I'm not
because you're not like
myself.
English, and you're not like so you're just stuck in between.
But I think when I was here, I felt like my childhood self, having been here when I was little and having that freedom of like running in the bush and being around animals and nature. And then I felt like, although I lived in the countryside, I felt like I wasn't completely myself. You know, I wasn't speaking Swahili, I wasn't with people who knew what I had been through when I was little and stuff. So I just felt like there was a whole part of me that was missing, and I was like, I can be myself when I'm in Kenya. But funnily enough, having been here for however many years, 8 years now, I feel like there's a part of me that's missing that's in England now, that I'm not completely myself when I'm here. So
but it's still a
about
process.
A balance,
it's a process, I think as well.
I think I need to spend time between the two. So
interesting.